So hey guys, we take here Blueberry Hills. This is like part 2 or 3, I'd say, of the closet organizer and a bunch of other stuff going on. So here I'm building the sides and the front and the back of the drawers. This is a pre-finished birch ply. It's a 1/2 inch, and I'm actually doing. I tried to use a dado blade on this saw, and I couldn't get it to fit properly. Especially the guide in the middle of the saw. It's not wide enough for the dado blades themselves. Plus I couldn't figure out how to get the guide off without dismantling everything. So I gave that up, and I'm just basically doing recessed cuts, the proper depth, and then I reset the fence, cut it to a 1/2 inch wide, and then I pry out the insert. You'll see me doing that in a minute. So basically I'm just rinse and repeat. I have 8 drawers to do, so 8 times 4 pieces, and then we'll do the bottoms later. So here you see me prying out the middle section. I go about halfway through the ply, and the bottom's going to be a 1/2 inch ply as well. So the assembling the drawers is kind of simple. I bought some very, I guess, inexpensive 90-degree clamps from Harbor Freight quite a while back. Finally get to actually use them. I've used them a little bit here and there, but nothing like this. It sets up everything nice and 90 degree. You almost didn't have to do any adjustments after that. I clamped everything in first, make sure everything lined up, and then I basically take it apart, and I used my nail gun and glue to connect everything together. I don't do the bottoms at the same time. I'm actually let this dry and make sure it's diagonal first, and then we're going to cut the drawer bottoms the next day, I believe. I did have to go get, I counted wrong as usual. It seems that's a common thing. I needed 2 sheets of 1/2 inch birch to actually finish the drawer bottoms themselves, just because of the area that it took. 8 drawers, and they're roughly 28 inches wide and 18 inches deep, so it takes quite a bit of wood for the bottoms. Anyway, you see me doing the little supports for where the bottom goes in. I actually used little corner pieces, make sure it aligns real nice, because I did make everything nice and tight. There is no slop in the bottoms. Here I'm double checking the diagonals, because that's the main thing. And here Angie and I are ripping the bottoms for the drawers. The weather's been really weird too. You can see us kind of running around. We're not, sweaters or anything. It was really warm and cold, really warm and cold. And making this video, it's now 30 degrees outside, so go figure. Anyway, I needed her help to guide the big pieces through it. And then once we cut that, it's just simple assembly. Here you see me just making sure that everything lines up with the guides, and there's a little recess. You see me knocking the recess out for there's a little ear on the drawer guide that holds the drawer on the back side, and then it clips in place with this plastic clip thing on the front of the drawer. You'll see that later. But anyway, pretty simple. I just pried out I knocked down about 1/8 of an inch on the ply, pull that out, and then then I assemble the drawers. Once I got all of the bottoms kind of configured, I go ahead and start banging everything together. I don't glue all the edges. I glue the front and nail the back bottom section. And this is fairly straightforward, very common practice, the way to build drawers. I've done it differently in the past, but it is what it is. Finishing up the drawers, I always use my belt sander. I bought a whole bunch of belts recently, all different grits, so I could do fine finishing and coarse grinding. Here I'm just using a fine belt to take the corners down, and then I'm going to use 220 to break the edges all around the drawer, just so they're not sharp. I'm not putting an edge band on this. The plywood looks actually quite nice, so we're just going to leave it alone. Just making all of them smooth and ready to be installed, so that's cool. This drawer install was actually one of the simplest I've ever done. I've never really done cross supports like that. I normally just hang the drawer guides on the sides, but doing the cross pieces like this and then putting the drawer guides on top, everything, as long as you measure things when you're building a cabinet, you basically just snap them in, screw them down, and off you go. And the drawers just snap in real nice, so that was fantastic. You'll see me putting, I'm not sure, next few seconds here, you'll see me put the plastic clips on the bottom of the drawer. They go to the outside front corner. There you go. Those just screw down, and then you just shove the drawer in place and it snaps in. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy, and once you have all the measurements down. I don't want to bore you with every single drawer, but here you go. I do kind of more of a conveyor belt construction here. Here's a closer look at what I'm doing. Basically three screws on all the sides, and I just put them all in at once, and then I start putting the drawers in. And again, it's just as simple as putting the top plastic pieces on the front of the drawers, snap everything in, and basically they just work. So I really like these guides. They're not the cheapest, of course. They're soft close as well. So it is what it is, but everything nowadays is soft close. You don't slam them, and they don't self-open. So getting ready to measure up for the drawer fronts. The top of the drawer is 8.5 inches, and every other drawer front is 8. I just put tape on the edge to give me a little bit of recess. And here's something completely different. I was waiting for some Rubio to dry. You can see it in the garage there. So I decided, just for the heck of it, start grinding the front entryway concrete. I've been meaning to do this for quite a while. It's been rough and not a priority. But I had some cycles. This didn't take very long. I am using my wet portable grinder. This is meant for countertops, not for like floor sections. But you see me use it before. The water really helps. It does help preserve the grinding disc. Although doing this whole big area, I've had that disc for roughly 20 years, and I finally killed it. So I had to order another one. Could not finish because the disc kind of went away. So it is what it is. It's a big area to grind with a small little 4.5 or 4 inch grinding wheel. So I had to use a little more pressure because this is the wheel that was dying on me. So I did have to put a little pressure on it, and it didn't have any veins to get rid of the junk that I'm grinding off. So it wasn't working as well as it should. So after this I quit and I ordered a new disc, and they've gotten quite expensive, unfortunately. But anyway, it did the job. Here you see what it looks like. It'll expose the aggregate a little bit. It definitely looks a lot better. I will seal it when it's time to do that. Hey guys. We take care of Blueberry Hill, of course. So here we are. You saw me doing some grinding on the front entryway. I've been meaning to do that for quite a while. It was rough because of when we poured it. When we're actually cleaning a little bit back on the driveway, we put a lot of water on the wet concrete, which saturated the top level. And I don't know if you went to saw a video for that, but we scrambled a little bit to get that at the proper, because the water diluted enough of the top of the concrete to mess it up. We tried to fix it a little bit, and it holds a little bit of water because it's very rough. And you can see that it looks a lot better ground down. You can see a little bit of imperfection there. What happened here's my grinder. It's a wet grinder, Makita, and that disc is gone. I've had that for eons. I'm going to say 20 years, actually. I did a bathroom remodel in the old house. I mean, long time ago, did the bathroom sinks, the countertops. So I used that, and then a bunch of other little things. But anyway, you saw me kill the disc. It was, I think, a 40 grit, or maybe just a little bit below that. So guess what? I can't finish, so I'm gonna have to get another grit disc and continue that the next day. Here we're doing also double timing. This is the shelves for the closet shelf system. The shelf system's in. In fact, I just secured it to the wall, and I'm waiting for the Rubio Monocoat to dry. We'll throw that in. There's also drawer front faces on that. You saw in another part of this video me putting in the drawers. So that's ready to roll. So that's going to be buttoned up. Hopefully the sidewalk's going to be buttoned up in a day or two. Done with that. The closet system will be fully built probably in 2 days. Once the Rubio dries and we put everything together. Maybe even tomorrow. It's dry enough. It's very humid today. It's getting a little chilly. It was very warm this morning, and all of a sudden now it's getting a little chilly, but it's still very humid. And there's rain and all that junk in the forecast for the next week, so it's going to be interesting. You also saw that's the mantle. I had to shave the GoPro slip. Shave that off a little bit so it'll fit against the wall at the fireplace properly. We'll put that back in, and we're going to silicone it in place, or liquid nail it in place, and then we'll be good with that. So anyway, getting stuff done a little bit at a time. All right, we're going to try some real-time work. We're going to try to get rid of all these markings here, and of course, these are furniture markers to hide all this. So I kind of start with sometimes the light colors, but let's see what happens with dark. Hi, Whiskey. Hold on. You're in you, babe. Okay. Come on.
Come on, Bill. Thank you. Thanks for licking my head.
So the markers worked actually remarkably well. I was surprised how it did. The different colors, you just kind of blend them in because the concrete, of course, is not consistent, right?
Try the lighter color against the wall first, and then we'll move up.
Yeah, so I'm overdubbing the video, so excuse me walking on myself. But here I just use different colors, light and dark, kind of not uniform. Kind of want to be sporadic, just the way the rest of the concrete is. And I have to admit, it turns out really nice, nice tight lines. And we tried to clean some of the concrete, couldn't do it. So this was the best way.
Use your finger.
Yeah.
Kind of blend it out. And if you need to, you can just come in and you kind of a few sporadic blobs. Cool thing is it's concrete, so it's not consistent. Just like that. Erase, erase, erase. Let's try it around the corner here. So this stuff we couldn't get off the floor, so we're doing what we're doing. And there, I mean, it's okay to leave it like that. And I go back, hold on, even if it's wet, you go back over it, and then you can smear it with your finger, and it's super difficult to tell what's what. Let's try the super light one. I don't care what color, it says maple. Maple, whatever. I don't know what maple really looks like on concrete, so. There we go. Looking back, let's see, maybe a little bit brown. Kind of sporadic. So, I just run around the house doing that. See what we got going around the corner here. I got a few. So you see how much different it looks already, right? So, we'll just continue along that line.
A pretty big mix of stuff happening in this video, but all the way from concrete to drawers to, you know, making the drawers, etc. But here, see me putting the front faces on. I tried a couple different ways. I tried double-sided tape. That didn't work quite as well as I wanted. Then I went to using these clamps, small clamps from the bottom side, hold the drawer front on, and then I just have to adjust the best I can for making everything line up. I did go for like a 16 plus gap all around the drawers, make it easy and not bang into the sides, and that worked pretty good. So here, see me struggling with the first one. That was the one that was trying to figure out the best way to do that, and then I started using the clamps and everything kind of started banging out pretty quick, and got things done pretty fast right after that. So here, see me align it, put the clamps on, pre-drilled the holes. I put a screw in, and if I had to adjust it, I just drill the hole a little bit bigger, move it left to right or whatever, and align the front of the drawer in the cabinet. Worked great. So here's more, you can see how fast this kind of works. I'm trying to get set up for it. I had to put tape on the clamps. They used to have these rubber feet, I guess I'd call it, so you wouldn't scratch anything up. But I used electrical tape on the front of the clamp so I wouldn't scratch anything, and off I went. And this worked pretty quick. I got the other side done, you know, record time. So there you go. Just a few minutes and you're done. So time for some drawer handles. I use my fancy schmancy jig that would cost 15 bucks. Works okay. I wish it would clamp to the drawer so it doesn't move on you, just in case, you know, when you're pre-drilling the hole for the handle. It can walk. It didn't on me because I was holding it pretty good. But anyway, simple process. Drill a couple of holes, put the screws in. Here I'm doing the rods, the hanging rods. And that was actually more of a chore than I would have thought. I'm making all of them same distance from the wall and offset from the top shelf. Hey guys, Vita here, Blueberry Hill. So hey, December 16th. So I'm continuing with the closet organizer. I'm putting in towel rods. They're bronze, which is they don't make black. They do make black, but they want like $70 a rod, which is very odd, and I couldn't find hardware that was actually black. The bronze is very close to black. In fact, if you look at it from a distance, you probably won't be able to tell that it's actually a bronze color. Maybe in sunlight, sure, but in a closet, no. Anyway, I had to do a little work just for these things. This is the one that it slips in. It almost doesn't matter because you have to actually thread this on the rod, screw that the other one on first, hang the rod up there, put this on the rod, and then screw this into the wood to make it sit there. There's no way to slip it in and have it sit. Otherwise, the rod would have to be a little bit, well, quite a bit shorter, and it would only ride on maybe a 1/4 inch or something like that. I'm not doing that. The fun part was they gave me screws that were too long, so I had to go get 3/4 inch screws and paint them. They give you screws that are 1 inch. They go through 3/4 inch plywood last time I checked. So I don't use the longer ones because everything in here is basically 3/4 inch red oak. But we'll make it work. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these to put up. All different size. But we'll make it work. I'm gonna switch to time lapse and talk at you later. And last but not least, I received my new grinding wheel, so off I went. This was actually fairly cold. It was a crappy day today, weather-wise, but I had a few cycles, so I went ahead and put the boots on and started grinding the rest of the front of the entryway. This did the trick. The bad part was I exposed a little bit of rebar, so I'm not too happy about that. I may have to overlay the front entry just because of that and actually make it smoother and more consistent. But I did like the look. It was working until the rebar popped through. But anyway, that's it for this video. Appreciate you guys watching. Catch us on the next one. Laters.